Today I'm going to see how well the newest version of ChatGPT can bowl. I'm going to have it tell me what rotation, what rev rate, what ball speed, and what bowling ball to throw, and where to throw it every single shot. I'm going to tell it what it does and see if ChatGPT can make its adjustments for me.
So I'll give it 3 practice shots to kind of get a feel for the lanes because I don't know the pattern and neither does it. So I've told it my bowling balls and the adjustments I can make. And for the first 3 shots, it wants me to throw my Crown Victory straight up 10 at the arrows. And then it wants me to throw my Mantra Solid from 15 to 8 to see a smoother inside line. And then it wants me to throw my Purple Hammer around the 5 board to see where the friction is. Okay, I fed it the information and it wants the Super CUDA from 18 at the arrows to 10 down lane. So far, although I haven't thrown shots yet, the scoring pace for this pattern is probably going to be like 210. 210's an all right game. If we can get to 230, I think that's a really good game. And that's a success for sure. I threw 3 balls and it told me to throw a completely different ball to start. But I will say, I think this is the right ball to throw right now from what I've seen. So far, I'm impressed. 18 to 10. We're shimming them hard too. Huh. That was pretty good, and that was pretty much 18 to 10. They're gonna have to ban ChatGPT at youth tournaments after this video. I'm just wanting to throw the next shot. Gotta tell ChatGPT what happened. So I informed ChatGPT that the ball hooked a little bit early, but it split the 8-9 and looked great through the pins. So it's saying for me to decrease rotation, but it hooked early. Normally I would move a little bit left off of that and or increase my rotation, but it wants me to lower my rotation. So we're gonna be a little bit more forward on this shot and see what happens. But it wants me to stand in the same spot, which I think is fair. It did look very good and it did strike. That's what I was a little bit afraid of with a little less rotation. I think that shot was actually really good, and I definitely gave it more 35 degrees than 40 degrees, which is what ChatGPT said. It had the right idea, but I think it made the wrong adjustment. It went the wrong way. I think I needed more rotation. It said less, so we left an 8-pin. Through 2 frames, we're close. But I think we could have gotten a double if it didn't tell me to make an adjustment to go a little bit more forward. This move makes a little bit more sense. So off of the 8-pin, it wants me to go back to the original rotation, but move 1 board left. Because there's so many adjustments you can make, it's hard to say I made a terrible move off the first shot, but we're going back to kind of what we did the first shot and just moving a board left, so. Ooh. Missed a little bit right, but it came off of it. The more rotation helps it kind of get off of it. Even though it saw the friction quicker, it still got the 10-pin out. I like what it's saying. So I told it that I missed a little bit right and it didn't get through the pins, but I think if I made a good shot, it probably would have. So it told me, stay in the same spot, make a good shot. If it doesn't strike, then we'll make a small move and tighten my angle up to get it through the pins a little bit better. I think that's great. We're gonna try to make a good shot and see what it does. All right, so that was a pretty good shot. It went exactly where I was trying to. It got to 10 down lane. That's what ChatGPT is saying to do. So let's see what move it wants me to make. All right, so it wants me to stay in the same spot and just add rotation for now. It's saying it doesn't want me to make some angle changes or big speed adjustments because I'm close, but need to find a way to get my ball through the pins. I agree with that. I think rotation is the most simple thing you can adjust, and it's the most fine-tuning that you can do. Pretty good coach I have right here. More rotation. There we go. Sent it a little bit too far right. More rotation though. It told me stay in the same spot. You got miss room. Keep doing what you're doing. We're starting to get there though. I told it I made a good shot and it struck, and it's telling me to kind of do the same thing. Stay in the same spot, same rotation. Seems to be doing the right thing. It's also telling me what kind of my next moves are, to kind of watch out for high hits, to maybe move left, or my next ball might be the severe collision to get into something cleaner. So right now this is working, but it's even giving me future plans of what I need to do. See, now that shot wasn't that bad, so gotta let it know. All right, I told it that it hooked a little bit early. It was a pretty good shot. I kept it in front of me to around 10 down lane. It just hooked too much. Left it 4-pin. So it's telling me just move one board. Typically, I'd move a little bit more than that. We're just gonna move the one board, and it says if we still go a little bit high, we're gonna ball down to the severe collision. All right, I was really hoping when it saw the 5-7 that it'd say, got good ball reaction, seems like you get into the pocket, so just move left and hook at it. But it's telling me to stand a few boards left of the 5-pin and shoot it straight. I really don't like shooting at this straight, and I don't think there's any point to shoot at it straight if you've got anywhere decent ball reaction. And I just hit the pocket quite a few shots in a row. So this is a mistake, but we're gonna throw it because ChatGPT said so. And like I was saying, this is a genius plan. 2 boards left of the 5-pin will make it every time, and ChatGPT is great. It worked, but I also don't recommend it because I think you're gonna get it more often if you're hooking at it, if you have the pocket pretty good, because you're gonna have some misroom at it. That doesn't give you any misroom, and also, if you leave a 5-7, you probably don't have the best ball reaction through the pins, and that's the time where you can even try a different ball to get a feel for it, and then you maybe make the spare, but at least no matter what, you're gonna get a read for a different ball, different rotation, or a different move. Even though I made it, I don't know if it's the correct thing to do. I told ChatGPT what I left. I said I left the 5-7, it wants me to ball change. It says the ball's burning up too much, the ball's deflecting, I need to go to something cleaner. The severe collision's what it picked. And it wants me to move back right 17 to 10 down lane. So I'm gonna move back right to a little bit further right than where I started, and we're gonna see if this one hooks. Did tell me a little bit less rotation, so it would reduce splits and hook earlier. We saw the early friction there. I don't really recommend moving back into the friction very often, especially if you're going to something cleaner or you're trying to get some more oil in the fronts, you're trying to get your ball through the fronts. I'd suggest actually moving further left, lowering the ball speed and trying to get it to hook from there, because when you move back into that friction, you never know if it's gonna hook early like that, and that could have been a lot worse than a 4-pin. But we're staying close. So 2 interesting things here where I said I left the 4-pin. One thing, it told me how to shoot the spare, and it told me to stand 1 board right of the 4-pin. Don't do that. The more angle you create at single pins, the more of the lane you have to miss. If you look at really old spare shooters, they create a ton of angle at their spares, 10 pins and 7 pins, because it gives you the most lane to miss. Not saying that creating a ton of angle is the best thing to do, but creating almost no angle and going up the lane at a 4-pin is not the right thing to do. So I think ChatGPT's wrong there. And with the move it wants me to make a 1-board move further right and decrease my rotation. I'm very much against this. I think it will hook earlier, and I don't think it will really do the right thing. I don't think moving back into more friction will be the solution. But we're gonna do it. No lucky tap on the 10-pin for ChatGPT. So I try to tell that there's friction right, there's traffic from the right, there's junk over there, and I told it I want to get into the oil. And it said, now you're thinking like a pro, move 2 boards right and ball back up. I'm gonna do that just cause. But after this shot, I'm gonna show you kind of what I would actually do to get my ball through the pins. Move back right off of the shot I just threw, get it more forward. Well, it struck. That's why I don't want to do that, because I'm moving back into more friction. Friction's unpredictable. You don't know what it's going to do. Move back into more oil. Move left. Get into that oil with a cleaner ball to get your ball through the pins. And when you miss right, you hit that friction and you actually have more ball reaction. You have more room and you're going to strike a lot more. So we're done with ChatGPT. I'm going to throw a few more shots and kind of show you what I would actually be doing right now. Close this up. All right, I don't think the severe collision's the bad idea. ChatGPT wanted me to move right, keep moving into that friction. I want to move left into the oil, slow my ball speed down, let my ball get through the pins a little bit better. So I'm gonna actually throw it a bit slower and just get it to read that oil. Make a pretty big move left. There we go. So slower ball speed, moving into more oil. That's where I need to play on the lane. I know that I have a little bit of more context with how the lanes play or how my ball rolls and everything like that. And that's why ChatGPT can't do the best job. But it kind of says something. Bowling has a lot of variables and I'm kind of doing my best to tell it what I can, but it's not going to understand everything because bowling is pretty complex. Let's just throw the purple hammer for fun because ChatGPT probably never do this and bowling's complex and you can always throw a purple hammer. Always, every time, all the time.
So overall, it seems like ChatGPT made some mistakes. It wasn't perfect, and it definitely made some questionable decisions. But overall, it also made some pretty good decisions that I wasn't expecting. Off of the 3 practice shots, I wasn't very close, but it got a feel for the lanes, and the first shot striking was pretty crazy to me. It picked the perfect spot to stand, and the first shot went flush. The problem it had was with those small adjustments. It kept wanting me to move back right when I probably should have been moving back further left into the oil. So it made some weird decisions, but also made some good ones. And for how complex bowling is, I think it did a good job. So maybe it's going to be one of those things where every single bowler is going to have ChatGPT on their phone every single night of league, and it's going to be telling them where to stand. Or maybe you're going to shoot 150 every single time. So it was really an interesting experiment. Let me know down below what you guys want to see with ChatGPT in the future or any other challenges. So subscribe to see that, and see you in the next video. Peace.